Hello and welcome to week 4. You guys should have just finished weeks 3, which is the end of cluster 1. So you guys should have chosen one of the 3 topics. They were conditioning theories, constructivism, and social cognitive theory. And by now you would have engaged in a discussion with the people in your group about just anything from cluster 1 and have completed your quick write 3. So I hope you guys really enjoyed last week's lectures. It's kind of nice when you have a little bit of choice in what area you are interested in. I think there was a good variety of people choosing different topics. So I'm really looking forward to reading your guys' quick writes for last week. I just finished grading all of your guys' quick writes from week 2, experts and novices, and it was really interesting to hear some of the connections that you guys were making. Some of the common themes that I was reading in your guys' quick writes were a lot of you guys mentioned just how you've had some professors or teachers, in undergrad or grad school that were very knowledgeable in their areas. They were considered experts in their areas, but weren't so good at teaching. And I think that we all have had professors like that. And it's very interesting how just because you can be an expert in an area doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to teach it very well. That's kind of another skill. And many of you were surprised that a lot of professors aren't required to take any education courses or teaching courses. And I was commenting on some of your guys' responses, just how I work for Brandman University as well, and they actually require the professors to take an online course before they start teaching on just how to instruct students, how to use the different tools on they use Blackboard. And how to just teach a hybrid course. So I thought that was pretty helpful. I do have some teaching experience, which I feel has really helped, but I think experts sometimes have difficulty really understanding how to break down the material, to its very basic parts, because they just have so much knowledge that I think a lot of times they assume that novices know a lot more than they do coming into it. So I've been there too. And yeah, that was a really interesting point that a lot of you guys were bringing up. Another kind of theme that I saw was the idea of equal access to practice. So we looked a little bit at poverty and how students, especially during the summertime, do not have the same access to practice as students who are in high socioeconomic communities. They lose a lot of their resources during the summertime and don't have the same kind of educational opportunities like visiting museums to kind of enrich their learning and continue their learning. So therefore, it's an opportunity gap that we see happening. And a lot of you guys were very frustrated with that and saying, well, what can we do then for those students who, don't necessarily have the same access? And I've mentioned many times in my comments to you guys that that's something that I'm very passionate about as well. And I love all the different summer programs that there are out there for students. I really like Boys and Girls Club. Gives these students opportunities to continue to have access to resources during the summer. But many of you wondered why, America doesn't mimic some of those year-round schooling like that we see in Europe and such. And I wonder the same thing. It takes a long time to make such a big change. And I think we just aren't there yet, although I think we're kind of moving towards, at least trying to help students gain better understanding of less topics rather than trying to shove, so many different topics to students in such a little amount of time. I think we're starting to really realize that we need to be teaching students in a little bit more depth with less concepts. So that's promising. So anyway, this next week you are going to start your cluster 2, and this is similar to what you guys did last week. So there's actually I believe 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's 6 different topics that you can choose from. And these are all topics that relate to cognitive psychology. Those of you who are in the school psych program, you're going to absolutely love this cluster because it kind of breaks down how the mind thinks and how the mind learns. And so these topics are visual perception. So that's how you perceive information that you see, attention, immediate memory, encoding, which is related to memory, retrieval and forgetting, which is also related to memory, and storage related to memory. So there's a lot of different topics kind of breaking up memory and attention and visual perception. So you guys can choose this week. And some of you are asking me about quizzes. You do not have to take the quiz in every single area. Just take the quiz in the area that you chose. I should have been a little bit more clear on that. So yes, and then you will be doing your next quick write for the week. So that should be quick write number 4. So again, if you guys have any questions at all moving forward into this week, please continue to reach out to me. I am really enjoying getting to know you guys, and you guys are making some incredible connections. You know, and every time I see a really good connection, I'll usually use that when I'm commenting to someone else. So I really appreciate the level of depth and effort that you guys are putting into this class. It's been a really fun time so far. So I hope you have a wonderful week. Happy Super Bowl. Well, I'm recording this on Sunday, so the Super Bowl hasn't happened yet. It will probably have happened when you guys watch this. So anyway, hope you guys have a great week and really enjoy this week's lessons.